single World Cup game on today. Not a single game.
That's tough.
Couple good games yesterday. Messi, the GOAT, proven. Although I will say this, FIFA is totally wanting Argentina to win. Colombia, Switzerland, penalty kicks, awesome. Today, nothing. At least we do got Rays and Yankees. But yes, the Rays make me happy. The Rays are like a roller coaster, and today we're on the up. Tomorrow we might be on the low. So I want to enjoy what took place last night. I want to give the flowers to Ian Seymour. What a game. 12 strikeouts, 5.1 innings. Absolutely incredible performance. And the Rays continue to find these guys who are bullpen guys, turn them into starters, and they become really, really good. I heard Pat and Aaron talking about it this morning. It's like the number of guys that they, Jeffrey Springs, the list honestly goes on and on of guys that they brought to be in the pen, and then they've made them starters. Kyle Schneider is the best at what he does. And the Rays, just overall great game last night. The bats picked back up. And you know what I loved so much about the game last night? How about the bottom of the lineup? Hitters 1 through 5, only Yandy Diaz had a hit. He was 2 for 4. He had a home run. And, all of a sudden, I'm not worried about his shoulder anymore. Talk to me tomorrow. Maybe I will be. Aranda, 0 for 3. Caminero, 0 for 4. Mullins, 0 for 3. Simpson, 0 for 4. Now, Mullins did get on base with a walk, but he also struck out twice. Same with Caminero, also struck out twice. Victor Mesa Jr., he went 2 for 4. Taylor Walls, my guy, 1 for 4. Richie Palacios, 2 for 2. And then we decided to pinch hit the best hitter of last night's game. But whatever, that's what we do. Ben Williamson comes in, he goes 0 for 2. I understand why I did it. Pitching matchup, yada, yada, yada. Hunter Fiducia, 1 for 2. With a home run, also drew a walk. Had 2 RBIs. The bottom of the lineup came through last night. And when your 3 stars, Yandy Diaz, Jonathan Aranda, Junior Caminero, who were batting 1 through 3 last night, can't come through, or the bats go silent, typically this team is dead. But not last night. Now they did, like I said, they got contributions from Yandy Diaz. He did hit that home run when the bottom of the order was going nuts, and they had that good inning, and they went back-to-back. He hit the home run right after Hunter Fiducia hit his. But usually when those big 3 are quiet, or 2 of the big 3 are quiet, that is not good for the Tampa Bay Rays. But last night it turned into a victory, and they went 6-4 over the New York Yankees, and we got something to be happy about today. The 3-game losing streak, it is over. Now, what did I say yesterday about this team?
You can't overreact.
You can't just live game by game, streak by streak with this team, or you will go insane. It'll be something you have to talk to your therapist about. And I don't want you to have to spend time on your therapist talking about the Rays, because if you have a therapist, there's probably a good reason you're there, and they're expensive. I want you to be able to talk about other things. But if you're going to go game by game, streak by streak, hit by hit, pitch by pitch, you're going to go mentally insane, because that's what this team will do to you. Right now, though, we're on the up. We're going to enjoy it. 32-13 at home. Impressive record. Really, really impressive record. And, I didn't even think about it until I was watching the game last night, and they mentioned it in the broadcast, that the first loss of the season within the division took place when the Yankees beat us on, what was it, Tuesday night, Monday night? Yeah, today's Wednesday. It was Monday night.
No, it's Tuesday.
What's that?
Oh, no, yeah, you're right.
When they
Monday.
lost. Stick with me, Tim. Pay attention back there on the other side. All right? I know you're not always paying attention to the show. We learned that a couple weeks ago. But stick with me here.
My week is crazy.
That loss to the Yankees on Monday night was their first loss to an AL East opponent at home. They damn near made it to the All-Star break without losing to a division opponent at home. That's really impressive, and that is an MLB record. To think about all of the years the AL East, these teams have been playing baseball, they've never accomplished that kind of start against division opponents at home. That's something that I just don't think gets talked about enough. And I get they haven't had a division opponent at home since, you got to go all the way back to the Boston series where they swept them in early June. That was the last time they had a division opponent at home. So, that's why it kind of went silent and you forgot about it. But really impressive. And I think the streak, what was it, their first 12 games, division opponents they won at home, and 12-0 start? It's something like that. But just absolutely incredible to get another one. So they'll go into the break now with how many games to go? You got 2 left for division opponents. So at most, you could walk away with 3 losses. And I don't think that's going to happen. You got Shane McClanahan on the bump tonight. I heard Pat Donovan say something this morning that I totally disagreed with. That was he is going to bet on Shane McClanahan the over tonight, 5.5 strikeouts. Now, I would enter that bet with caution. If there was one bet that has cost me more money this year, every time Shane pitches, anytime I go to a game, I like to bet on the over of pitching. And for whatever reason, I've ended up at a lot of games where McClanahan's pitching. But I have bet on McClanahan a few times this year to go over on strikeouts because it always seems like he's got to do that. And that's exactly what Pat said today. 5.5 seems too low. Dude, he gets me every time. Even, what was it, last Wednesday? He was having a great game, and he needed one more strikeout to go over. And he was taken out of the game, and, a lot of people were up. I know our group chat went off. Pat's like, he's screwing me here, Kevin Cash.
Yeah, and that bet was 4.5 strikeouts.
But you had to pull Shane last week when he was on, because what happens if you don't? Maybe he starts to lose the command, and all of a sudden a good start becomes a bad start. The game was out of hand at that point. They were up pretty big. You got to take him out. But betting on Shane McClanahan over strikeouts is always a really risky bet because the line always seems too good to be true. And normally, when a line is too good to be true, it's because it is. So, got to be careful with that. I'm not going to touch that bet tonight. 5.5 is what Pat said it was this morning. I like the Rays to win tonight. I do have a bet, and we'll get into that later on if you're looking to bet on the game, but I'd stay away from that one.
The only thing I would agree with Pat on is the fact that the Yankees have struck out 17 times in back-to-back games.
That is true. They do strike out a lot. You look at the lineup last night. Grisham, 2. Goldschmidt, 4 strikeouts. Rosario, 2 strikeouts. Bellinger, 2. Our guy Jose Caballero, who's driving me crazy, 4 strikeouts last night. You just hate to see it. Jazz Chisholm with a lollipop in his mouth, 2 strikeouts. And then you had Showman with 1. 17 strikeouts as a team, Tim. That is an incredible stat. And guess how many walks they drew? None. No walks last night.
Love to see it.
Love to see it. Just love to see it. That is a lot of 17 strike. Okay, maybe
back-to-back games.
All right, see this. It's too good to be true. Stay away from it tonight. Don't do it because Shane's going to be sitting at 5 and he's going to be right there on the borderline of is he going to come out or is he not going to come out? And that's where he's going to end up. He's going to end up at 5. He's not going to end up at the over. He'll end up at 5. And then Kevin Cash will take him out. And then that's what happens. See, I don't like to bet on my own teams for that reason. Because I don't like to get mad at my own players.
We get mad at them for a different reason.
I get mad at them for other reasons, like not performing. But, when Kevin Cash took Shane McClanahan out last week, our group chat was going nuts because a couple of guys had the over. And it's like, I don't like this negative energy we're getting. The Rays just won a game and everyone's all angry. That's why I never bet on my own team. Because if you lose the bet and they lose the game, then you're double angry. You hate everything, and you lose your money with your team. I don't like that. Now, you could also look at it, well, double the fun. You get the win, and you win the money. Man, it doesn't ever work out that way. Best case scenario, your team wins, but your bet loses. It is usually your best case scenario. So I don't like to bet on my own team. Like, Tim, will you bet on the Gators during the football season? Because I do not mess with my own teams.
No, I can't because I get the thought of if I bet, that's just only going to create bad juju for my team. And
if they lose, you feel like it's your fault.
Exactly. So my goal is like, you know what? Hey, I'm just going in there. I want my team to win. I'm not going to bet. That's it. Unless it's like as sure of a thing as humanly possible, I'm not betting.
There's no sure thing as a bet.
Well, the Celtics over-under win number last year was a sure thing.
Did they hit it?
Oh, they exceeded it. They had him at Celtics going at 500.
Nobody cares.
But yeah, it's a bet. I'm just saying.
Nobody cares. I'm just messing with you, by the way.
I know.
Well, actually, I'm not. Nobody really does care. Hopefully, we still have an audience. The last time I bet on one of the teams I like, I bet on the Gators to beat Georgia in 2024 straight up. And I picked them that day to win. I said, you know what? I'll put my money where my mouth is. And all was going good. You know, they went into halftime with a 13-6 lead. And then DJ Lagway got hurt. And I swear, if DJ Lagway doesn't get hurt, I still think I will die on this hill they win that football game.
100%. I'm right there with you. I've been saying the same thing.
Instead, they lost like 34-20. George ended up putting up 28 points in the second half, and the Gators put up 7. Billy Napier. By the way, that article you sent me on Billy Napier and The Athletic, I meant to put this on the show sheet today.
That was on 3.
On 3, sorry. On 3. He did an interview, and he was talking about the things that he did and didn't do right. When I was reading that article, and he's talking about the moves that he should have made, and maybe he was a little bit stubborn, not delegating some things, who does that remind you of?
Good question.
No, I'm asking you, who does it remind you of? Do you know?
No, off the top of my head.
It reminds me of Todd Bowles.
Ooh.
You know, except Todd Bowles is the defensive version of Billy Napier. Billy was so stubborn.
Yeah, 1,000%.
If he gives up the play calling duties and hires a good offensive coordinator, he's probably still here.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure a lot of folks are like, well, thank God he didn't do that. But, you know, Billy was a hell of a recruiter. If he would have just delegated a little bit more, maybe the talent works out. And maybe you weren't wanting him to get out of town. But when I was reading that article last night on that interview with Billy Napier on 3, I'm like, this is Todd Bowles. This is straight up Todd Bowles, except with defense. We've been asking him can you just give up the play calling duties? It's not that you're not good at it. It's just that you were better at it when that was your only duty. And as the head coach, that's not your only duty. You have a million things that you oversee. Hire someone who's really good at calling defensive plays so you can step back and maybe do a little bit better of a job with the other things. Now, you can still be involved with the defense, but you can also step back and then be better at other things that you're not very good at. Clock management, you know, decisions in the moment, certain things that have always burned you throughout your head coaching tenure. And maybe this team gets better because right now we just continue to do the same thing and we expect different results. And that's just never going to work.
The definition of insanity.
I hate it. You know, if this show continues to have bad ratings, well, I'm going to change something up. Because if I just continue to do the same thing over and over again, I'm going to expect the same ratings. So that's just something that I thought of when I was reading that article. It was a good interview. I thought it was great that Billy admitted all of his flaws. And if he can fix those things, and JMU is a perfect place because he's going to get some talent, and I think he'll be able to win the conference, and they're projected to win it this year over at JMU, I think you could see him at a big university again down the road.
The problem with Billy, though, is my fear is that even if he did hire an offensive coordinator, he is still, if you give him a lead at halftime, he is going to be so conservative, it's not even funny.
But if he's got a guy in there that he trusts and lets him control the offense, that wouldn't have happened.
Maybe.
And when I read that article, I'm like, this is Todd Bowles, but Billy Napier. It's like that Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each other. And I just thought he could have been better there. All right, something is going to happen tonight at the Rays game that I'm excited about, but also not excited about at the same time. We'll talk about that coming up next here on the